Well, if this next final is half as good as that men's doubles, we're in for a real treat, because it features the number 4 seeds, Ha Jung-eun and Kim Min-jung, up against the number 2 seeds, Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei. Well, the women's doubles, so often over the last year or so, we've seen all Chinese finals. And my colleague Ian Wright was posing the question for the rest of world badminton last year to rise to the challenge of the new dynamic, exciting style of the top 2 Chinese women's doubles pairs. And Ian, I think you've had your answer. I think indeed Ha Jung-eun and Kim Min-jung have risen to your challenge, and they have counteracted that.
Well, it was a great performance last evening, I have to say, and they did it in a much more aggressive style of play than we're used to seeing from the Korean ladies doubles pair. It'll be really interesting to see how they tackle today's final, whether they can follow it up or whether the emotions of the win in the semi-finals has left them a little bit sort of deflated. We'll see.
Yes, because obviously, you know, players look at the draw, and as number 4 seeds, they would have built themselves up towards the semi-final and the encounter against the world champions. And there's always a danger that you don't look beyond that, because you say, that's the big match, that's what I'm building up to, and then having achieved the victory over the world champions Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang, you mustn't forget there's another match to get yourselves up for, which physically they'll be able to do, but it's usually the mental, emotional lifting yourself again after such a huge win. Of course, Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang, since they formed their partnership following playing against each other in the final of the World Championships in Paris in 2010, I think had actually only lost one match. There had been a match where they had to withdraw, 2 matches they had to withdraw, but one match that they were actually beaten, and they were beaten by this pair walking onto court, and that was the first final of the Super Series of 2011. And last year the first tournament was the Malaysian. Well, this pair will get cheered all the way for Ha Jung-eun and Kim Min-jung. For both of them, this is a new experience. First time either of them have been in the final in their home event, the Korea Open. Well, Ha Jung-eun, she'll be back on court later, as I say, in the mixed doubles with Lee Yong-dae. So we're looking at our umpire for this match. Umpires and service judges, court officials coming from all over the world to ensure impartiality. Ha Jung-eun, there she is. She's the youngest player on court at the age of 24. The other 3 players are all 25. And number 4 in the world ranking, and their win-loss record for last year translates into 6 finals, winning 3 titles, but they have yet to win a Super Series title. Twice been runner-up in Super Series events, of course the Super Series finals in Luzhou at the end of last year, and also the Singapore event where they lost to their opponents of today in that final. Well, there's Kim Min-jung. Lovely to see her back to what appears to be full fitness, because of course she missed the World Championships last year because she was in hospital with a hip injury. Now there is confirmation of that semi-final victory over the world champions, Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang. I can tell you that they came from 9-11 down in that deciding game, won the next 6 points to go 15-11 up. In fact, they won 11 of 13 points from the mid-game interval to go 20-13, and eventually closed it out, as you could see, 21-17 in an hour and 12 minutes. And I can tell you that the roof was almost lifted off this Olympic Gymnasium number 2. Such was the delight of the crowd. Well, there's Zhao Yunlei. She's in her 4th Korean Open final, having won 2 titles previously. Women's doubles in 2010, playing with Cheng Shu, and then last year won the mixed doubles with Zhang Nan. And of course, in the mixed doubles this year, they were beaten in the first round by a British combination. Well, there is Tiang Qing. And last year, they were in the final of this event. It was their 2nd ranking tournament together, their 3rd tournament together. And you can see from that that they too had a battle yesterday against the Korean youngsters Jung Kyun-young and Kim Ha-na. Dropped the opening game 24-26, and that was an hour and 10 minutes. So Chinese on court for an hour and 10 minutes in their semi-final, and the Koreans on court for an hour and 12 minutes. Well, that's ominous for the home fans. Played twice and 2 wins to the Chinese, but as you were pointing out earlier, Ian, home advantage can count for a lot in these situations.
Yes, it can, particularly this Korean crowd. They love supporting their own players. And there's a big tradition in this tournament of Korean players causing upsets, isn't there?
Yeah.
They tend to respond well to playing at home, don't feel the pressure. They tend to be inspired by the support rather than pressured by it.
Well, we saw the speed of smash record for the tournament broken in the men's doubles. I wonder if we'll see it again in this final, the women's doubles. So the women's doubles final gets underway. Koreans far side, can they keep their good form going, having disposed of the world champions yesterday in the semi-final? They're up against the Asian Games gold medalists. Well, if that opening rally is anything to go by, we're in for another thriller.
Yeah, and that's what we saw a lot of last night. Ha stepping up, taking responsibility on the front court, being really aggressive.
What a rally!
Oh, here we go. Both pairs showing great resilience in defence. In the end, it's the Koreans that came out on top.
Now, what was the delay there? Not quite sure why Zhao Yunlei was disturbed about something. No, it's gone long. Yeah, involved the net player. That's really where you can only hope to win the rally. Smashes of the women players obviously not as powerful as the men, and yet the defensive play of the women, top women's doubles players, are every bit as good as the male players, and therefore it's much more difficult to get the shuttle on the ground. Have to work the rally, involve the net player, get them to finish off from the front of the court. Yeah, got committed into the crouch defence, and therefore the smash aimed towards her backhand side, got her in a tangle. Tianqing, of course, last year was in 2 finals here in Korea. Lost in the mixed doubles final, playing with Tao Jiaming. Oh, service fault called. Yeah.
Well, complete look of surprise on her face, but actually it's been a fairly regular event this week of being called for that service, and as we saw on the replay, the racket head comes up very, very high when she flicks.
Now this Chinese pair, Ian, they've had their injury problems because in the last 3 tournaments of 2011, either retired or gave walkovers to their opposition. Each time it happened to be Chinese opponents in Hong Kong, China Super Series, and of course the Super Series finals as well. They didn't contest the semi-final against Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we've watched several of the matches this week, and we've both commented on the fact at times we've felt that they have been a little limited in their movements. Both of them seem to be carrying knee injuries at the moment.
That's a good smash. Yes, we watched their quarter-final against the number 5 seeds Mayuki Maeda and Satoko Tsuna. And a couple of times we could see Tianqing wincing as she played a shot, and Zhao Yunlei refusing to put all body weight on her right leg. There's no question they've definitely got injury problems, but I'm hoping Well, they don't reoccur in this final.
Well, a bit disappointed there, worked hard to create the opportunity on the mid-court. Showing good variety. Kim stepping out on the interception, but just snatching at that, dragging it down into the net. Just a little bit too flat, short. There. Not giving a partner time to get back into a good defensive position.
It's good aggressive play from the Koreans, the channel attack. Yeah, well, a little look from Kim Min-jung down towards the line after she attempted the defensive shot. Wondered if this one was going wide. I suspect it may have done.
Yeah, good play from the Chinese. We can see they create that half-court situation, almost a 2v1 situation. Good penetration from Kim in the rear court. Easy finish in the forecourt for Ha. There we see the strapping. There from a mixed. Once she gets the attack, quick to follow up, chain the shots together. Takes a three, but maintained the attack and found the winning shot.
Yeah, she is, of course, reigning world mixed doubles champion with Zhang Nan. But interesting sort of career path as far as the two Korean players are concerned, because they played together in 2007. Inspirational selection it was, because Kim Min-jung played with Lee Ho-jung, and they beat the then world number ones in the first of the women's doubles, which of course was Ma Jin and Wang Xiaoli, and Ha Jung-eun. She teamed up with Lee Kyung-won, and they beat the Olympic champions Yu Yang and Du Jing in the second women's doubles and secured the Uber Cup final for Korea. It was in Kuala Lumpur in 2010. So they've had time apart, come back together again, and perhaps have learnt from their more experienced partners that they've played with in the interim period, and they're a better pair because of it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And they both know their roles very well in the combination, don't they?
Yeah.
If they're going to win this game, they really need Ha to be getting forward, being creative on the front court. And then when she gets the opportunities, to fully commit to finishing the points from the forecourt. And they need Kim to be rock solid in defence, and from the rear court, get a partner into the game.
Lovely placement of the drop shot. Both the Koreans thinking that perhaps the other was going to play it. It doesn't matter how experienced you are, that's still an ideal shot against any pair. Oh, that's good. Clever smash aimed towards the right shoulder of Zhao Yunlei.
Yeah, good work, good combination from the Korean pair. As you say, a very well placed smash.
Oh, that's pushed wide. It was almost as if she changed her mind.
Yeah, I think we'll see it here. She was thinking about the block, wasn't she? Changed her mind at the last second. That caused the error. Again, good defence from Kim Min-jung, changing the direction, breaking the attacking formation of the Chinese. Here we see it, Chinese trying to squeeze the two players onto the straight again, finding a good cross-court drive.
Oh, once again, finds the space.
Yeah, again, it's a really effective shot, isn't it? That drive into the back corner. Forcing the Chinese off the net position.
All level, 13 all.
Oh. First impression was that was well out. See if we can see it from here. No, linesman was right. Again, it's that set play, isn't it, that they like, where the rear court player plays the straight smash and the net player comes in line, and they get two. We see it here, two in the half court against one. They isolate one defender and play 2v1. It's good tactics.
Well, I think Zhao Yunlei is going to do some running repairs. Yeah, extra strapping on the knee. Yeah, you can see Zhonglong, she's also got a lot of strapping on knees. Knees do take a battering in badminton. Kim Moon-soo, former Olympic champion, of course, with Park Ju-bong. Unbelievable. What a great rally.
Yeah, Koreans had 4 or 5 opportunities to win the point, but Chinese defence was rock solid. And eventually when the Chinese took the attack, see how high both of them are on the court there. 2 players attacking the net. No space for the Korean defensive block. Interesting there. Kim Moon-soo giving a lot of advice to his players, and I think it's about using more cross defence. Seem to be indicating that would make sense. We've seen this tactic several times of straight smash and the net player coming straight. He wants his players to use cross there and try and break that attacking formation.
Oh! Unbelievable. Oh my goodness. Well, that is one of the best rallies that I've ever witnessed.
The Korean pair must be wondering what they've got to do to get it on the floor.
Yeah.
They had 5 or 6 really good opportunities. Hit what they must have felt were winning shots, but no. Kept coming back. Here we see it. That's fantastic defence. Great vision as well to change the direction.
Yeah, look at the expression of the 2 Koreans. I think they are wondering exactly as you surmised. What on earth have we got to do? Yeah. Oh, Tian Qing in all of a tangle. Clever placement.
Yeah, we'll see Tian Qing here backing away, she wants to defend on the backhand. She's moving over to the tram line. But Ha sees it, hits to the forehand side. Very well placed smash.
Yeah, I think that might have been her hardest smash of the day so far as well.
Another good rally. This time it's Zhao Yunlei trying to change the direction of the play. Takes the attack, but the partner makes the error from the rear court. Well, that's the key to this game for me. It's Ha being aggressive on the front court and trying to dominate from there. She's got to go for the shuttle there. She can't, obviously, at the same time, she can't afford to make errors.
No, but she was right to go for it.
She was, absolutely. If they're going to win it, they need to be aggressive in the front court.
That error from Kim Min-jung not helping the Korean cause. Oh, what defence from Zhao Yunlei. Turning the shuttle, driving it, keeping it flat over the net.
Yeah, it's a great shot that we see here. Kim Min-jung really not reading the play, getting caught flat-footed. Not a natural front court player.
So game points here for the Chinese pair, 4 of them. That's short. Well saved.
Again, it's the cross flick into the rear court, sets it up.
Two game points saved. Yeah, she'd covered it. Knew that it was going to go wide though. Oh, the flick serve is wide, and I have to say that Kim Min-jung was being made to wait for an awfully long time for Zhao Yunlei to get ready, and I wonder if that just disturbed the concentration. 21-18 the opening game in favour of the number 2 seeds Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei. 27 minutes. 21-18. So the players return to court for the start of the second game. The Asian Games gold medalists, the number 2 seeds Tiang Qing and Zhao Yunlei, having taken that close opening game, 21-18. So the number 4 seeds from Korea, Ha Jung-eun and Kim Min-jung, need to respond here. That's wonderful. Well, once again, the Chinese really taking their time. Yeah, well, David Turner, the umpire from Australia, are asking the Koreans to play. It wasn't the Koreans who were delaying things. I think there was indecision as to whether she should play that drop shot or not. So 1-1. Second game. Yeah, that's clever.
Yeah, and we just saw a tactic there that I think they need to use a little bit more, pushing Zhao Yunlei into the rear court and then playing with width, make a move across the baseline, try and open up some space on the court rather than attacking directly.
Because of her obvious injury problems at the moment and that sideways movement at the back of the court, probably one of the most awkward and difficult for her with a knee problem.
Yeah, I think there is that factor, but the other factor is that when she plays from the rear court, she likes to follow forward. When she hits, she likes to try and be moving forward. So if you play with width across the baseline, you stop her doing that. You stop her getting into that net position, and you're actually creating space.
Yeah, that's a lovely angle. 3-1. Oh, and again.
Yeah, they seem to be just looking to place more drop shots in front of Zhao Yunlei, don't they, in this game? That's 3 or 4 already. Yeah, a little bit slow to react again.
Two very good angles, softer downward shots.
Yeah, looks a real shift in tactic, doesn't there? Playing a little bit more pace off from the rear court. When they were hitting onto the Chinese defence in the first game, it was coming back with interest, wasn't it? And they're just mixing the pace up a little bit more, using 1 and 2 drop shots, half smashes to good effect so far. Stepped up in defence, tried to be aggressive with it, take it early. And that's the problem when you do that, let Zhao Yunlei play from the rear court and follow in. She's so good in that situation. Rotating forward, very aggressive here. 1 from the rear court, immediately steps in. Can't afford to play back to her in that situation.
That's a good low serve from Tian Qing. Having been 3 points adrift, now back level.
Yeah, for me, all the Korean defence is too straight. They're hitting back straight, and that's allowing the Chinese to get into a very aggressive formation. They really need to be trying to hit more cross defence for me. See again, there's 2 Chinese players on the same side of the court.
For me, there's just too much defence, period.
I
mean, the return of serve, didn't try to attack it, she just lifted a high lift to the back of the court.
Yep. My point would be that if you are going to defend, there's no point in just defending and just getting the shuttle back. You've actually got to try and change the direction, step up and try and be aggressive. You're going to use a lift, return of serve, you need to step up behind and try and counter-attack.
Yeah. All good. Perfect. Well, Tian Qing is trying to argue with the umpire that it was wide. We're looking straight down that line. I thought that was perfect.
Yeah. It's good. That's more aggressive in defence, stepping up right on the line. In fact, the shuttle skids down the line, doesn't it?
Well, that's why she's world mixed doubles champion, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's not the game against her, is it? Driving back to Zhao Yunlei. You're asking for trouble there. Don't play back to her on the mid-court. She's going to follow that in. And when she gets into that net position, she's lethal. Good reactions.
Good technique too. Short, sharp movement of the racket head. Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, that's what the Korean pair need more of. Ha getting into the net position. Trying to be aggressive.
Oh, it was a terrible low serve, wasn't it? So loose, really invited the attacking play, and it means that the number 2 seeds have the advantage. 3-point advantage at the mid-game interval here in the second. Now, Ian, we've talked a lot about Ha Jung-eun and her apparent lack of confidence on her low serve.
Yes, but it seems to go in phases, doesn't it?
Yeah.
She had a spell in the mixed semi-final where suddenly she served really well, and then one bad serve and then she loses confidence for the next 3 or 4. It's not, she hasn't completely lost it, as you see with some players, but there's just moments where it just seems to desert her.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see with Zhao Yunlei, both knees heavily strapped.
Coming back to that point, it makes it very difficult for a partner. She doesn't know the quality, what the serve's going to be, can't take an aggressive stance. Whereas Zhao Yunlei's got one of the best serves around, as demonstrated there.
Oh, good aggressive play from Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei.
Yeah, again Zhao Yunlei getting into that position in the front court, creating the pressure. Again they finish, look where they finish. 2 Chinese both in the front court. Very, very aggressive play.
Was not her fastest of the tournament, that one, at 2:22. I think she hit one earlier on in the week at 2:28. Oh, she really is making the difference at the moment, isn't she, Zhao Yunlei?
Yeah. Yeah, once she gets in, she's relentless, isn't she? She doesn't mind how many shots it takes, but as you say, the technique's so good, the racket's back up quickly. And again.
Well, Chinese have just won 14 of 18 points. He looks a worried man now, doesn't he, Kim Moon-soo? Well, started the rally with the flick serve because the lack of confidence on the low serve, but her opponent was waiting for it.
And again, the finish we see, two Chinese players, same half of the court again, and again, Ha choosing to go straight. There was space on the cross again.
They're making Ha Jong-eun switch from backhand to forehand defence. Just wide.
Yeah, nice tactics from the Koreans here. Before that, a couple of angled smashes to the sidelines, creating the space for the attack to the centre. Good play.
Short. Well, in all honesty, the Koreans really should have put the shuttle away early on in that rally. Number 2 seeds, just 2 points away from the title. Great smash from Tiang Ching. Perfect placements to bring up 7 match points. First time of asking, and a superb display from the Asian Games gold medalists. Their first Korean Open title as a pair, and their first ever Premier Super Series title. 21-18, 21-13 confirms the umpire. 50 minutes of play, and for Zhao Yunlei, her third title at this particular event, her second doubles title, and of course she was mixed doubles champion last year as well. So for the Chinese pair, Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei, fifth title together in their partnership, but it's the biggest of all so far as prize money is concerned, because it's the richest tournament in the sport of badminton, the Victor Korea Open. So even two games there, lasting 50 minutes for the women's doubles. Next on court is a dream men's singles final, the world number one against the current world and Olympic champion. Then women's singles, and the 2010 champion Wang Shexian up against her teammate, the left-hander Jiang Yanxiao. Then mixed doubles will be our last final this afternoon. So prize presentation for the women's doubles.
우승자에게 부상으로 주어지는 오신 마사지 체어 수여는 최호근 오신 코리아 사장님께서 해주시겠습니다. Gold medalist Hwang Hae-young, Jung So-young of Barcelona Olympic, President Seo Yoon-young of Victor I&D Company Limited, and General Manager Choi Ho-gun of Ocean Korea will help us with presenting words. 입상 선수 입장. Enter the players.
So the presentation party and the players, they make their way forward. Medals to be presented by Wang Hee-young and Chung So-young, two former players that I happen to know very well indeed, because of course they won the Olympic gold medal in the women's doubles in Barcelona in 1992 and dumped me out of the tournament on the way. Lovely to see them again. And they both look very fit as well, don't they, making the presentations. To Ha Jong-un and Kim Min-jung. So Yeon-young, president of Victor Korea.
우승 중국의 지안싱 자유레이, champion 지안싱 자유레이 China.
For Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei, their fifth title together, their third Super Series title to go with the Malaysian and Singapore Opens last year, but for the first time they win a Premier Super Series title. Beaten finalists a year ago, here in 2012, they've gone one better.
이것으로 2012
So $79,000 US for the winners, 38,000 for the beaten finalists.
경기가 있겠습니다.
So the next match on court is men's singles. It is a repeat of the final here in Seoul last year. It is a repeat of the World Championship final from last year. It's a repeat of the Olympic final from Beijing in 2008. It is the two best players in the world at the moment. The world number one, Lee Chong-wei of Malaysia, up against the world and Olympic champion Lin Dan of China. Well, there is the draw for the men's singles and the number 1 and 2 seeds coming through. Apart from that, the 3 and 4 seeds were both disposed of in the very first round. They didn't even make it to the quarterfinals. So there you can see 2 Japanese players, 2 Chinese players in quarterfinal stages. But it is the 2 outstanding players from last year who have progressed through to the final. So for the men's singles players to get themselves to the arena. We can enjoy some of this final.
Yeah.